Despite the construction of numerous housing projects designed to get roofs over the heads of people experiencing homelessness, the problem persists. And with winter approaching, the city will be reactivating its overnight shelter-in-place facility, but they've moved it from Recreation Avenue to here on Bailey Avenue.
By now, people know that in as long as we do not have sufficient beds, sheltering space in our city, the city has a legal obligation to designate a public space for people to shelter overnight. We're relocating it from Recreation Avenue because the Ellis Street supportive housing site is opening up in November, which is great news. And it's not appropriate to have an overnight shelter site immediately across the alleyway from the new supportive housing site.
So, how many people do you anticipate are going to rely on this kind of last resort option here?
So, of course, homelessness is very dynamic, and so the numbers are ever changing. Based on what we have at Recreation Avenue right now, the numbers fluctuate between 15 and 35 on any given night. And what we foresee is that this will be for the next 4 to 5 weeks, that the numbers will be higher. Because after that, we anticipate that we will have emergency winter sheltering available in our city through till March, and we'll have that Ellis Street supportive housing site open up. And so those two things in the next 4 to 5 weeks will certainly make a difference and reduce the number of people, and hopefully reduce the number of people that need to shelter overnight here.
The problem of homelessness is obvious as winter approaches, and the RCMP make a daily trip out to the places where people tend to congregate, picking up garbage. Does it seem like there's any fewer people on the street as we head into this winter than, say, last year?
The simple answer is no. There's not less people. There's a lot of sheltering and places coming open soon at the location on Ellis and the location on McCurdy. There's going to be probably anywhere from 30 to 70 or 80 places at least coming up. So, I mean, that should take care of the majority of people, but somehow it just seems people either don't want to be housed or are having problems stabilizing, staying in housing, getting kicked out, or things like that. And it just seems
and also some new people show up.
Absolutely. I've never seen more new people than I have in the last 2 years. Yeah. Morning, Mike.
So your job goes on.
And it always will. And frankly, as long as there's a drug crisis and mental health crisis, which this is, in my opinion, more of a housing crisis, this is what we should call it, because this is what it is. It's a drug and mental health crisis, right? That's the reality of the situation. Until that changes, I don't think anything will change.
We know, though, that housing first is the best response. We have to have shelters and ultimately supportive housing to stabilize people and set them up on a path for recovery and healing and success. So overnight sheltering is not a solution. It is a legal requirement for us as a city to provide this designated public space, and we're meeting that requirement with the site that you have behind you.